Why are US overtime rules so unique compared globally? Imagine working a full week and getting paid extra only after hitting a specific hour mark. That's what makes US overtime rules stand out from the rest of the world. The United States follows rules set by the Fair Labor Standards Act, or FLSA, which is a federal law that guides how workers are paid for extra hours. Unlike many countries that have daily limits on work hours or requiring extra pay for weekend or holiday work, the US mainly looks at the total hours worked in a week. If you work more than 40 hours in a week, you get paid 1.5 times your usual rate for those extra hours. This is different from countries that might pay double for work over a certain number of hours in a day or have strict limits on how many hours someone can work in a week. Another thing that makes US rules different is the idea of exemptions. Some workers, like managers or professionals, are considered exempt from overtime rules if they meet certain salary and job duties. This means they don't automatically qualify for extra pay when working overtime, which is not the case in many other countries where overtime protections are broader. The US also doesn't set a maximum number of hours a person can work each week. Instead, the law relies on the promise of overtime pay to discourage employers from making workers put in endless hours. Plus, the US doesn't requiring extra pay for working on weekends or holidays, unlike some countries that have premium rates for those days. This can make paychecks less predictable for workers who work weekends or holidays. The situation gets even more complicated because each state can set its own rules. Some states, like California, have stricter overtime laws, including daily overtime after 8 hours or double time after 12 hours. This patchwork of rules means employers need to pay close attention to both federal and state laws to stay compliant. In addition, some industries or labor unions negotiate their own overtime rules through collective bargaining agreements. This can give workers better protections or more pay for overtime hours. Overall, the US system balances protecting workers with giving employers flexibility. But because of the lack of daily hour limits, the many exemptions, and the variation across states, US overtime rules are more complex and less uniform than those in many other countries. That's why understanding these rules is so important for both workers and employers to stay on the right side of the law.